There was something about the radio show that attracted so many people around the planet. Ask me now what made that possible, and I would have to say many things. The themes, the music, the mood. Of course, to those who really know, like yourself, it went deeper than that. It was something that resonated with the soul, and a connection was made. Welcome to the heartbeat of the internet. I'm Don Jackson. I have often heard the myth of an imaginary place where it was possible to slow the river of time. In this real world, it's nothing more than a fanciful story, but we are able to slow the passage of time in many ways, allowing the river to flow into eddies for a while before continuing along on its lazy journey. Judith Sills in Family Circle magazine said, and I quote, "Grand gestures on significant occasions mark the passage of time, but little gestures that sweeten the moment stop time, allowing us to pause to express or receive love. For that instant, we're not going anywhere. We're simply stopped in our tracks, feeling the warmth of our loving connection." Unquote. When we are drawn to listen to the heartbeat of the internet, that's exactly where you might be able to set aside some of life's distractions and feel the loving connections that you've made. It is familiarity with life that makes time speed quickly. When every day is a step in the unknown, as for children, the days are long with gathering of experience. George Gissing from The Private Papers of Henry Rycroft. One of my favorite writers is Daphne Rose Kingma. One of the powerful books she wrote is called A Garland of Love. She has discovered the one way to bring time almost to a standstill. She writes, and I quote, "In life and in work, we have hours, minutes, plans, and obligations. But love stops the clock. Love is out of time. In it we measure things not in terms of what we have done, must do, or how soon or late we will do them, but in terms of bliss, of being suspended in a state where time and obligations are irrelevant. This is one of love's greatest gifts, that it connects us with the endless eternal. It acquaints us with the beauty of timelessness. How can you let the love that you feel, that is given to you by the people who love you, remove you from even the tiniest moment from the burdensome pressures of time?" Unquote. Words of Daphne Rose Kingma. How indeed. I'm Don Jackson, floating along the lazy river of time in the direction of the heartbeat of the internet. Time does have a tendency to slow down somewhat and mirror the heartbeat of the internet. I'm Don Jackson. Joseph Addison believed love is a second life. It grows into the soul, warms every vein, and beats in every pulse. You know, once we've given our soul that which it requires, there is very little that can be done to ever sever that connection. Edgar Allan Poe gives us a sense of how long that connection could remain intact. And neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. I'm Don Jackson, listening to the heartbeat of the internet for connections. This was circulating around the internet some time back, making connections with so many people. And I quote, "Many living things need each other to survive. If you have ever seen a Colorado aspen tree, you may have noticed that it does not grow alone. Aspens are found in clusters or groves. The reason is that the aspen sends up new shoots from the roots. In a small grove, all of the trees may actually be connected by their roots. Giant California redwood trees may tower 300 feet into the sky. It would seem that they would require extremely deep roots to anchor them against strong winds. But we're told that their roots are actually quite shallow in order to capture as much surface water as possible. And they spread in all directions, intertwining with other redwoods. Locked together in this way, all the trees support each other in wind and storms. Like the aspen, they never stand alone. They need one another to survive. People, too, are connected by a system of roots. We are born to family and learn early to make friends. We are not meant to survive long without others. And like the redwood, we need to hold one another up when pounded by the sometimes vicious storms of life. We need others to support and sustain us. Have you been going it alone? Maybe it's time to let someone else help hold you up for a while. Or perhaps someone needs to hang on to you." Unquote. It's these connections that separate the superficial from what's real. In the past, you and I made an easy connection via the radio. This one is a little more complicated, but the connection remains exactly the same. I hope you will share this webcast with friends so that I can make even more connections with the people who mean something to you. I'm Don Jackson. Larry Crabb wrote, and I quote, "When two people connect, something is poured out of one and into the other that has the power to heal the soul of its deepest wounds and restore it to health. The one who receives experiences the joy of being healed. The one who gives knows the even greater joy of being used to heal. Something good is in the heart of each of God's children that is more powerful than everything bad. It's there, waiting to be released to work its magic. But it rarely happens." The words of Larry Crabb. Sometimes those connections happen by themselves, and here's a wonderful example of that. Again, I quote, "By sunlight, by a window, he suddenly saw a web, a radiating system of wrinkles spread out from the corners of her eyes when she smiled. From her lips, another set of creases, so delicate only the sun could trace them, spread upward. The two systems commingled on her cheeks. Time was interconnecting her features, which had been isolated in the spaces of her face by a certain absent-minded perfection. She was growing old within their love, within their suffering." Unquote. John Updike, writing in Problems and Other Stories. So, what connects one heart to another? It's really very simple. The knowledge of it has been known for centuries. Robert Burton said, "No cord or cable can draw so forcibly or bind so fast as love can do with a single thread." Lawrence Stern had the very same thought. He expressed it this way: "'Tis sweet to feel by what fine-spun threads our affections are drawn together. And now I think you see why. Because we're all connected on a deep, intimate level." The last word goes to Sir Walter Scott, who wrote, "True love's the gift which God has given to man alone beneath the heaven. The silver link, the silken tie, which heart to heart and mind to mind, in body and in soul, can bind. Feel the vibration of those fine-spun threads as they are strung near to the heartbeat of the Internet." I hope you will share this webcast with your friends and family. Sharing is the best way for me to make new connections. And don't forget to listen to the first program in this series about connections. I look forward to your comments, which you can post on our contact page, or you can send me an email. It's my direct link to you. If there is anyone on the planet who can sum it all up in a few words, then it's Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, MD, from The Wheel of Life. She wrote, and I quote, "I've never met a person whose greatest need was anything other than real, unconditional love. You can find it in a simple act of kindness towards someone who needs help. There is no mistaking love. You feel it in your heart. It is the common fiber of life, the flame that heats our soul, supplies passion to our lives, and energizes our spirit. It is our connection to God and to each other." Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, from The Wheel of Life. My thanks to Scott and Steve McEachern and Lydia for technical support and advice. Till next time, have a great day and a good night filled with many sweet dreams. I'm Don Jackson.